Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Hari Om Namaskar. An youngster approached a master and asked him, "Master, can you tell me the secret of successful leadership?" The master smiled at the youngster and said, "You are already one." The student was confused. He said, "I don't understand." The master said, "The first step to successful leadership is willingness to learn. Approaching a mentor and asking him the right questions for your growth." So what do we understand by this scenario? Here we see the master is telling the student, you have to have values. He was not talking about power, money, people, but he was talking about a value system. Values are invaluable life. Valuables are valuable, but the fundamental of every living being is the value system it takes on. So what are the values required for being a successful leader? That's what we are going to reflect upon. But how do we get to know what are the values required? Where do we find out? How do we imbibe all these values in our life? Our human wired is basically, if you see, it follows what it likes, and what it follows becomes the future of one's life. So what should be the like factor in our life which will in way help me to follow that value system? Is there any role model or a personality who has got all these values which has helped him to achieve great things in life, has inspired many people in life? Yes. Let's see a goat. Goat, greatest of all times. He was not greatest of all times in one field, but in all fields. And who else can be there apart from Bhagavan Sri Krishna? From time immemorial, he has always been influencing, inspiring, transforming, motivating, loving, sharing, communicating. Who else can be there apart from Bhagavan Sri Krishna? From his peers, to his enemies, to his family, to his friends, he's always been an inspiration and a source of joy. And we see a lot of leadership qualities in Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So what are those qualities which will help me to imbibe in myself, which will in turn make me successful in life? Not only successful, as a successful leader in life. So let us see the like factor of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. We have seen a lot of celebrities in recent times as well being inspired by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, from the likes of Iron Man to a recent IPS officer who was given VRS just to serve Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So what is that quality, that personality which is inspiring people and will inspire people? Some of them will reflect upon, which are very conducive for us to become a leader. Puja Gurudev says, even Bhagavan Sri Krishna cannot talk about his glory within a short span of time. Such is the greatness of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. But we will try to reflect on some of them and enjoy it and try to imbibe a couple of them or some of them in our life. So first and foremost, we have to understand is a successful leader is a one who has a clear vision and implements it as his mission in life. We have seen in Bhagavan Sri Krishna's life, he came down with a clear vision and he communicated it also very clearly. How did he communicate? In the Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna, Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkrita, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. See, he is very clear about his vision for the society. What is that vision? Paritranaya sadhunam, meaning protection of the good. Many of us say, I am good, but he was not protecting. No. What do you mean by this goodness we are talking about here? Devoted to the higher ideal and purpose, being selfless and leading a dharmic life. This is very, very important for a leader. And he has shown it that way. He has lived it that way. In the case of Pandavas, Kauravas and Pandavas were his own family. But why did he choose the Pandavas? Because Pandavas chose him. Those who choose him, he chooses. So what we understand is he had a clear vision saying that I come here to protect the good. Similarly, the leader should be able to convey his vision and be able to visualize and implement it and share it with the team. The second point is he says, Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Just imagine, Vinashaya means not destruction, metamorphosing. He metamorphosed the lost. People were lost. Kamsa was lost. From Putana onwards to so many people, he had given them a right way of merging with the divine. Please think. He did not destroy. He did not kill. He gave them salvation. He gave them a purpose to look up to through him to reach the divine. So, Vinashaya cha dushkritam, meaning I come here to transform people. Then the third is Dharma samsthapanarthaya, to create proper system in a institution or the field where he is working in. So, he knew the system, he was in the system, and he beautifully transform the system according to the time and to come. So a leader has to have clear vision and he should also be able to communicate the vision to the team so that the vision is implemented as a mission for the people, for them to grow in life. So this is very clearly seen in any workshop you go for a leadership training program. They start with vision. Now we'll go to the next quality of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. A leader may have a vision, but if he doesn't have the right knowledge and the skill, and if he's not well informed in life about the scenario where he is in, he will not be able to fulfill the vision he has got in his mind. So we see that Bhagavan Sri Krishna had complete knowledge. He himself was an embodiment of knowledge. But in spite of it, he went to a school and learned all the 64 arts in 64 days from Rishi Sandeepany. 64 arts in 64 days? A crash course. Just imagine. How can somebody learn so much in such a short span of time? It's not just because Bhagavan Krishna was avatar himself, but because of his quick understanding, because his mind was supremely focused. His mind was not filled with any desires or nothing, no impurity at all. So he could grab it so fast. He used his maximum potential to learn the knowledge. So he had the knowledge. He was master of all the knowledge. Not just have the knowledge, he was the master of all knowledges. And he had all the skills necessary for whichever field he was in. Was a charioteer, was a builder, was an administrator. negotiator, communicator. All the skills he had, we could see in his life. And also well-informed. Well-informed, clear understanding of not only the scenario, but the people, their strength and the weakness, how to help their strength to build and how their weakness has to be transformed, everything he knew. That's why he was able to strategize his plans in such a way that everybody benefits by it. So, we could see in Bhagavan Krishna's life the beautiful quality of the complete knowledge, great skill. He was a Maharathi, in fact, greater than the Bhagavan Bhishma, all those people around. So he had the knowledge, he had the skill, and he was very well informed. A leader should have the knowledge of the field, he should have the right skills and update his skills constantly to be in the current scenario, and should be well informed about his team, the scenario, the market, wherever he is in. Everything we could see in Bhagavan Krishna's life, which is very important for a leader to be successful. The first one we saw was clear vision. Second one we saw was knowledge, skill, and very well informed. Now we'll go to the third point. He has clear vision, he has the knowledge, skill, and is well informed, but he used it in the right way. He strategized. He was the master strategist. Anyone could have seen in the entire history of time. Right from his childhood, the moment he was born, he guided his father to take him to the Gokul. He said, Papa, I have to go to the Gokul. And from there, Nandagopa, he guided his father, strategized, saying that we have to move. And Indrotsav, he said, why should we celebrate it? See, everywhere he was guiding people, strategizing plans to achieve the goals. And his strategy was so innate that he was able to connect many dots. If you see in a couple of incidences, when he grew up, he had to fight Jarasandha. He was a warrior. He fought him more than 17 to 18 times. Then he decided, why should I keep on fighting this guy? People are being killed. Let us not face him right now. So that's why he went to build Dwaraka from Mathura. It's a strategy. He couldn't come that far. Because of that, many people were dying. So he moved off. It was not Ranchod. And after that, he never left this guy because Jarasandha was a threat to the society. It's a danger. So what should we do? Strategize. He took Bhima, and then Bhima and Jarasandha were fighting. He was not dying. So Bhagavan Krishna took up a twig and broke it into two and threw it to the other side. Then Bhima understood. Then that's how he was able to kill Jarasandha. And after that, if you see, in the incidents of Kala Yavana, this guy was coming from somewhere out of India, want to fight with Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna thought, I don't want to fight this guy. So what he did, he just came out of the fort, he started moving away towards the forest. Kala Yavana thought, okay, this guy is coming alone, I will go finish him off. So he ran behind Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Bhagavan Sri Krishna ran into a cave and hid himself in the cave, waiting for Kala Yavana to come. When Kala Yavana went inside, it was dark inside. There was a king called Muchukunda was lying down there. He had fought a war alongside Devatas. So they gave him a boon saying that you can sleep for long. If anybody wakes you in between, they will perish. So this guy goes in, Kala Yavana, disturbs the sleep of Muchukunda. Muchukunda, the king, opens his eyes, he's burnt. See, strategy. He didn't fight the war directly. Certain areas, leaders should not directly approach a situation. It could be other way. So in the incidents of from his childhood, Jarasandha and Kala Yavana and Jayadratha, everywhere strategy. And Barbarican, again a strategy. every moment of the Mahabharata, you see, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has connected the dots, not for his selfish reasons, please understand. It is to establish his vision. What was his vision? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. A leader should be very clear in this. You should create all this or connect all the dots, not for his personal glory, but for the institution or for the organization to grow and for the people in it to grow. That's what we see in Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And he was not just a strategist, he was an elixir to all people there. He was a solace and a solution provider. Wherever he went, he brought joy. A leader should be able to do that. A leader should not just be an authoritative leader. He should bring joy to people. That's what we see. In Draupadi Mata, solace. Everywhere he goes, he always he saw that people were happy with his presence and got a solution for life. So, the third point we see in Bhagavan Sri Krishna is the leadership quality is strategist and elixir for all. Not just giving solution, seeing through the end of it. This is what is called design thinking. You have a plan, you execute it and see the outcome. See Bhagavan Sri Krishna, 5,000 years ago, all these things happened. A masterpiece. Now, the next one is, so you got a vision, you got the knowledge, you are a strategist and provide solutions to people. Leaders should be able to give solutions to people, create solutions to people. But a leader should not just be a leader alone, he should be able to be a kingmaker. Create more leaders. And we see in Bhagavan Sri Krishna that quality is making people become leaders. Right from Ugrasena, after he gave salvation to Kamsa, he made Ugrasena as a king. Then later on, he made Pandavas, Yudhishthira as the king. And in Dwaraka, after he set up the city, he found that these people are not going to be able to grow in the scenario democracy, the Yadu clan. So wherever he went, he created leaders. In Arjuna, he created a leader. This is very, very important. So why Bhagavan Krishna was doing all these things? He could have been a king. He could have got all the glory. He was never behind any glory or popularity or the like factor or following factor. But his main intention, Puja Gurudev says, is active resistance to evil. This was very clearly seen in his life. Wherever there was evil, he just didn't keep quiet. He did some kind of a activity so that evil is transformed. This is very important because as a leader, when we see there are some evil things around, which are negative things around, we should take up some steps to actively resist it. That's what we see nowadays in our society. Leaders are not living for the society. No lofty vision, no nobler vision, very selfish. But in the life of Sri Krishna, we could see that he was always thinking about establishing or reinstating the dharma. And more important, more than a leader, creating leaders is the style of a visionary. So that's what we could see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, that he, wherever he went, everybody glorified him, but he kept on creating leaders. That's how a vision can be sustained. You are a leader, but if you don't train, if you don't create a leader, the vision is lost. And that vision is very important because that vision is going to anchor a society. A vision which Bhagavan Sri Krishna envisioned for us is very important. His vision is not different from all the rishis' vision. The same, one and the same vision. The vision of transformation. The vision of divinity. So this is very important. So current scenario, if you see in an institution or an organization, the leaders sometimes dominate. The leaders sometimes are authoritative. They don't want any peers or competitors in their life, in their institution. But here we see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he was not interested in it. He was walking the path. He just kept walking. And in the process, he created so many individuals who transformed to be a leader in the society. So, the fourth point is he was a kingmaker. He created leaders. He gave himself to everyone. In the story of Sudama also you can see, he came as a pauper. His friend, he couldn't see his friend being so poor. He created a leader. He did not just give money. It's not just giving wealth. You should be giving him values also, or that strength also, to protect that wealth. So it is not just giving him wealth. We always see that, oh, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave him everything, wealth. No. He gave that leadership quality to Sudama ji also. That's how we can see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna how he created more leaders. So, clear vision, knowledge, skill, well-informed, strategist, problem solver, elixir to life, and the fourth one is a kingmaker. A leader should be able to create more leaders. And one more thing, if you see Bhagavan Krishna's life, it was such a challenge. Right from his birth, he was born in a prison. And immediately he has to leave his parents to meet new people. And once he is accustomed to all the people, he moved from a comfort zone. He kept on moving from comfort zone. He never was in a place where he was very comfortable and very happy with his achievements or with his life. He kept on moving from one zone to another zone, all from comfort to the effort zone. A leader should always have this quality. Moving from a comfort zone, you should never be happy and contented with the progress. You should keep on vying for greatest. That's what we see in Bhagavan Sri Krishna's life. If you see, he kept on moving. He was never in one place for long. Please think. His friends he had to leave. His relatives he had to leave. And enemies were chasing him constantly. People were insulting to the core. Every moment threat for his life. Please think. And we all complain about life. When we look up at Krishna's life, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, just imagine. Can we ever complain about life? And at every moment, he never left two things in life. One, never wavered from the path of dharma. Second, he always smiled. Keep smiling. A pleasant personality. So if you see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, his personality itself is so charming, so vibrant, so exuberant, so joyful, so happy. Very, very difficult to have such a personality. But how was he? He was cool Krishna. How was he cool Krishna? His attitude was cool. What is the quality which made him cool? He was totally master of his senses. His mind was always focused on himself. And he never thought about anything from this world for his joy, because he himself was joy. No desires, kama, krodha, lobha, moha. So a leader should have all these qualities. Complete mastery of senses. First, focus on the process, because Bhagavan Krishna says in the Gita, it clearly says, Arjuna, you have every right to do the work, but the result, not in your hands. So focus on the work, not just on the result. So when the mind is trained to do these things, the mind is calm. Our mind becomes agitated only because our expectations of the results and the memories of the past and the anxiety of the future, we miss the present. So here we see how Bhagavan Krishna was cool-headed is because he was focused on the present. No desires. He was fulfilled. From fulfillment, he worked. He knew everything was his own creation. So when you know this is your creation, our mind will be at peace. We create our destiny. So here, no doership, no enjoyership. Even this will pass away. He knew that. He was ready to serve all, love all. Self-knowledge he had. That is the greatest strength of anybody. So a leader should have a clear understanding about his own personality, his passion, his understanding of life, purpose and meaning, and live selflessly, because this talent was given only to share it with the public. With this idea, if we live, our mind is calm and composed. Bhagavan Krishna says, Samatvam yoga uchyate. So calm and composed mind can take decisions and clear. All these things we see in our Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda as well, because he was also a great successful leader. The qualities of Krishna we could see in Gurudev, established a huge Chinmaya Mission organization. So it is these qualities which make a one successful leader in life. And he didn't just stay like that, he shared his wisdom in the form of Bhagavad Gita and many Gitas as well. So if we like Krishna and follow Bhagavan Sri Krishna and share the knowledge or experiences which he had with the people around, we become a successful leader like Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Let's like, follow, share like Bhagavan Sri Krishna to be a transformational leader. Happy Janmashtami wishes. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.